I'm not the type to chase trouble, but when my own blood steals what my father bled to build for me, I don't just get even. I make sure you regret ever crossing me. I'm Amara, and this is how my sister Sophia found out I'm the last person you should ever betrayed.
Wow.
I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia. Daddy came here with nothing, built his real estate business from a beat-up pickup truck to a skyline of buildings. Everyone called Sophia, my older sister, the perfect daughter, beautiful, social, always surrounded by the right people. I was the quiet one. Daddy knew better though. When he wanted a deal done right, he sent me. When he fell sick, he called me to his bedside and whispered, "It's all yours, baby. Don't trust Sophia. She's got charm but no loyalty." After he passed, I found the will. 80% of everything, the estates, the trust funds, the stocks, all under my name. Sophia was left just enough to never starve. She acted sweet. Hugged me at the funeral, whispered how proud Daddy would be. But deep down, I knew she was a snake waiting to bite. 2 weeks later, the will reading. I sat in that old mahogany office. When the lawyer read it, I almost choked. Sophia got everything. I got nothing but Daddy's old truck. I knew she switched it, but proving it wasn't easy. The lawyer's assistant vanished. The house was full of her people. And me? I looked like the crazy sister who couldn't accept Daddy's wishes. They say you can't choose your family, but you can choose how they remember you. I'm Amara. I was the quiet daughter. The spare. The easy target. Until my sister Sophia thought she could wear my crown, and I decided to make her drown in the lies she spun. If you're listening, don't ever envy the golden child. Sometimes, gold is just rust painted pretty. I grew up in Atlanta, old money part, the type where people mow their lawns at 6 a.m. just so the neighbors know they care. Daddy was first-generation rich, real estate tycoon who didn't trust banks or fancy stock tips. He trusted land and buildings. Sophia was his first baby. She had his smile, my mother's eyes. People called her an angel, golden hair, a laugh like sugar. Me? I was born 5 years later. Brown hair. Quiet. Bookish. I liked the library more than the living room. Daddy said I was his second chance to get things right. From the start, Sophia learned how to charm. She'd kiss Daddy's cheek and ask for ponies, jewelry, trips to Paris. I'd sit by the window, watching her twirl in the dresses he bought her. But behind closed doors? She was different. When no one watched, she'd twist my arm for touching her hairbrush. Rip pages out of my diaries and read them to her friends. She knew how to hit where it hurt, softly, sweetly, so no one could see the bruises. When I was 12, I won a county spelling bee. Daddy was so proud. Sophia accidentally spilled red wine on my trophy. I didn't cry. I just learned, never give her a target. Hide your wins until you're ready to protect them. By the time I was 17, Daddy made me his shadow. He'd take me to meetings, teach me what a lien was, how to spot a bad deal by a handshake. Sophia? She'd mock us both from the golf club. She thought she'd marry rich, didn't need to work. And Daddy let her think that. He'd tell me at night, "She's my daughter, but she's not built for the storms." You are, baby girl. Sometimes, I resented him for it. He created a monster and locked me in the basement with it. Sophia and I drifted further. We only looked like sisters in Christmas photos. Behind those smiles, we were wolves bearing teeth. When she was 25, Sophia ran off to New York. She said she wanted to find herself. Really, she found older men, hedge fund sharks who gave her handbags, apartments, shiny rings. She'd come back for holidays with new cars Daddy paid for when her sugar daddies got bored. I stayed. I helped Daddy flip entire blocks, fix failing hotels, buy abandoned warehouses and turn them into gold mines. I did the work. Sophia reaped the image. When Daddy got sick, pancreatic cancer, brutal and fast, she flew back, crocodile tears and $1,000 shoes. I still remember the last week in that hospital room. Daddy was so thin. Sophia would sit on his bed, crying about how lonely she was, how she needed him to make sure she'd be taken care of. She'd look at me over his shoulder, smirk like I was invisible. But Daddy wasn't fooled. One night, when she left to take a business call, he pulled me close. He gave me a small black leather folder, the real will. He said, "Sophia can have the cars, the dresses. The rest, it's yours. Keep building, Amara. Never trust her with it." I promised him. I sat there for hours after he slipped away, the machines beeping into silence, while Sophia was out clubbing with some New York friends, celebrating early. The funeral was chaos, big, southern, expensive. Sophia played the grieving princess. Everyone fawned over her. I handled the logistics, burial, guests, the wake. When the will was read, I was calm. I knew what was in it. 80% to me, trusts, deeds, Daddy's private company. Sophia got the cars, jewels, and a trust fund capped at $250,000 a year. Enough to never starve, never enough to buy an island, but Sophia had other plans. She'd already seduced Daddy's junior lawyer, a soft-spoken guy who drank too much at the wake. He lost the real will. 2 weeks later, a new will showed up, shiny, notarized, witnessed by 2 of her friends. Suddenly, Sophia owned everything. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I watched her sign documents in Daddy's study, the same room where he taught me to never blink first. After she locked me out, she went full royal. She threw charity galas in Daddy's name. Took our family crest and plastered it on party invites. Rented out the Atlanta Symphony Hall for her engagement announcement to Kenneth, a Texas oil prince with money old enough to make Daddy's look new. She invited me to the announcement. I showed up. I smiled. I clapped when Kenneth kissed her hand. She leaned in, whispering, "Stay poor, little sister. Maybe you'll marry a plumber." I just said, "Enjoy it while it lasts, Sophia." She didn't catch my tone. Nobody ever does, at first. She thought I'd disappear. She forgot who Daddy raised. Behind the scenes, I started digging. I hired Daddy's old PI, a retired cop named Earl who owed Daddy his pension. We found the missing lawyer's assistant in Nevada, drunk, broke, ready to talk for a price. We found bank transfers Sophia made to hush people. Fake IDs. A secret apartment in Miami for her fling, a plastic surgeon who handled more than noses. The months leading to the wedding were theater. Sophia strutted around Atlanta like she owned it. Kenneth's family looked at her like royalty. She planned a $500,000 gown, diamond tiara, imported flowers. She kept sending me pity invites to the bridal shower, bachelorette. To show the world I was included. I went to every single one, sat in the back, drank the champagne, smiled. Collected information. Let her brag. She called me Sweet Amara. But she never noticed the phone in my pocket recording every insult, every whispered threat to staff, every shady deal. One night, 2 weeks before the wedding, Sophia called me to apologize. She invited me to her penthouse, gave me wine, pretended to cry. She said, "Maybe I went too far. Maybe you can live in Daddy's old lake house. Just sign a release, say you accept the will." I agreed. I smiled. I left with the paper, and her fingerprints all over the wine glass. Proof she bribed me to accept fraud. She never knew the PI was parked outside, snapping photos of her Miami doctor slipping out the back door. While Sophia ordered her orchids and caviar, I was in the real lawyer's office, prepping the real will. Filing quiet lawsuits. Locking down her assets behind the scenes. Setting up the one day she'd never forget. I could have taken her down quietly, but quiet revenge fades fast. Daddy didn't raise me to fade. He raised me to finish. So I waited. The big white wedding at the country club was the stage, Sophia the bride, me the ghost. The perfect moment to remind her, you never steal from a lion's cub and walk away with a crown. Some girls grow up dreaming of the perfect wedding. Sophia did. She wanted gold invitations, white horses, 1,000 flowers flown in from France. I just wanted one thing, her crown to shatter in front of everyone she fooled. So I made sure when she walked down that aisle, the floor was glass, and it cracked beneath her perfect shoes. The last week before the wedding was a circus. Sophia held fittings in Daddy's old study, the same study where she forged my signature on fake documents. I stood behind her, pinning her train, holding pins in my teeth like a loyal bridesmaid. I watched her laugh on the phone with the Miami doctor she thought nobody knew about. I watched Kenneth's mother hand her a family heirloom, a diamond bracelet worn by Texas oil wives for 3 generations. Sophia slipped it on her wrist, winked at me, whispered, "Look at me now, little sister." I just smiled and said, "Perfect fit. Hope it doesn't slip off." Behind the scenes, my PI Earl wasn't working alone anymore. I hired a second ghost, a quiet event coordinator named Clarissa. She was Sophia's dream planner, but really, she was mine. Clarissa got me every guest list, every vendor contract, every delivery truck route. I knew what champagne Sophia ordered. I knew which press outlets were coming. I even knew the backup wedding gown hidden at the venue in case Sophia's main one ripped. Spoiler, it would. I gave Clarissa one rule: keep her calm, keep her blind. Wedding day. Atlanta's most expensive country club. The air smelled like roses, fresh-cut grass, and fake promises. 500 guests, oil tycoons, politicians, old money matrons dripping diamonds. Kenneth's family arrived in a motorcade. Sophia's side? A few distant cousins, her fake friends who clung to her table scraps. Me? I wore black. Not funeral black, statement black. An old Givenchy dress Mama left behind. Red lipstick, hair pulled tight. When people asked if I was the maid of honor, I said, "I'm the ghost in the attic." Smile for the cameras. I found Kenneth alone before the ceremony, standing by the lake behind the club. He was fiddling with his cufflinks, nervous, sweet, clueless. I almost pitied him. I handed him a tiny white envelope. "Don't open it now. Just promise me one thing: if you really love her, you'll watch it before you sign anything today." He frowned. "Amara, you've been good to Sophia lately. She says you're back in the family." I laughed softly. "Oh, I'm in the family, Kenneth. Deeper than you'll ever know." He pocketed the envelope, promised to watch. He had no idea he'd thank me later, and hate me forever at the same time. Sophia made her entrance like Cleopatra at Mardi Gras, 12 bridesmaids, a string quartet, flower girls throwing imported rose petals. She wore that $500,000 gown like a crown, a veil so long 2 women held it like a royal train. People gasped. They called her stunning. I called her hollow. When the priest asked who gave this woman away, her voice cracked, "My father, in spirit." I almost laughed out loud. If Daddy's spirit was here, he'd be holding the shotgun himself. Halfway through the vows, Kenneth's phone buzzed in his pocket. He stepped back. Sophia froze. Whispers rippled through the pews. He plugged the USB from my envelope into the screen projector meant for the wedding slideshow, the same screen meant to show baby photos and engagement selfies. Instead, the first image flickered up. Sophia's secret Miami condo, her kissing her plastic surgeon on the balcony. Then her texts, "Can't wait to divorce the Texas cowboy and drain him dry." Gasps turned to chaos. Her bridesmaids started backing away like she was radioactive. Kenneth's mother clutched her pearls so tight they snapped. Sophia lunged at the projector. Her veil tore. One of the flower girls screamed when Sophia's heel snapped and she crashed into a dessert table. While Sophia scrambled, the doors opened again. In walked a quiet man in a cheap suit, the missing lawyer's assistant from Nevada. Earl flew him in under a fake name. He handed Kenneth a folder, the Real will, the forged signatures, the wire transfers Sophia used to pay him off. Kenneth's father stepped forward. Took one look. This marriage is over, he barked. The prenup is invalid. The engagement is void. You're a liar and a thief, Miss Sophia. Sophia tried to beg. She grabbed Kenneth's cuff. He yanked away. Security led her outside, barefoot, veil shredded, makeup running. Reporters swarmed. Guests filmed on their phones. Her perfect day was trending on TikTok by sundown, #BrideGoneBad, #inheritance. When Sophia reached the parking lot, she found Daddy's old truck, the same one she tried to donate for charity. I had it parked at the entrance, spotless, shining like new. I tossed her the keys. Drive home, big sister. It's all you really own now. Inside the truck? An envelope taped to the dash, foreclosure notices on the mansion she thought she owned, transfer deeds putting Daddy's companies legally back in my name. A note in Daddy's handwriting, trust is earned, not stolen. Kenneth's family filed charges that same day. Fraud. Conspiracy. The news ran headlines for weeks. Socialite bride loses empire in wedding day scandal. Her Miami lover? Ghosted her when the money dried up. Her old friends? Leaked her secrets for clout. She tried to run, but I froze her accounts. She tried to beg me for help, I sent her Daddy's old Bible instead. A single page marked in red, you reap what you sow. Sometimes I visit the lake behind the country club. The ducks still swim there. The grass still smells sweet. Sophia's dream died here, but mine didn't. Daddy's crown sits where it belongs. And Sophia? Last I heard, she lives above a nail salon in Dallas, telling everyone she's between opportunities. If you ever wonder whether cold revenge is worth it, ask my sister. She'll tell you, don't steal from a lion's cub. You won't survive the roar.